This video, I'm going to show you the simplest thing that you can build in Clay. All you have to do is drop in a LinkedIn profile URL and you'll get back that person's email and phone number in just seconds. And you can even batch process large lists of them. And that's all without your team having to touch every single one. Now, fair warning. If you're running Clay every single day and you're an expert, this video is not meant for you. You can click away and I won't be offended. This is made just for the people who have heard Clay 1,000 times and they've been a little bit intimidated and they want to just get over that hump to make something useful, maybe in just a few minutes. I find that most sales teams are still doing what I call the hunt and peck. And that's where they sit there, they go to each profile one at a time, and then maybe they use Apollo or another enrichment tool and they click the little spinner to find the phone number, the email. And the problem with that is they have to sit there and watch each one spin one at a time. And that can easily eat up hours of somebody's day and week, especially when you add it all up. And that's all before a single call gets made, and it breaks you out of flow, right? You're not in the flow of just dial, 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 and email, email, email. And that's why I find that after building over 160 automated sales systems for business to business sales teams, this is one of those small but useful little machines that you can build right away, even if it's your first day using Clay. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Clicking the new button here on the far right, and that's going to allow us to create a new workbook. And this is where we'll be doing our work. So let's go ahead and name our workbook something literal and clear, like find email and phone from LinkedIn URL. And then just press enter. I'm going to scroll down and then choose blank table so that I can start from scratch. And now we're in the workbook. Before we start adding and changing and clicking, I want to talk about the shape of what this machine is going to have. It's going to take an input and then process it and then give you an output, which is emails and phone numbers. We need to identify what are the requirements in order to then create all of the columns and all of the multiple inputs. And the enrichment columns themselves are going to tell us what the requirements are. So this will all become clear in a second. We know we want to begin with a LinkedIn URL. So I'm just going to take this column, which is a text column. You see how it has a little T, and just call this LinkedIn URL. Awesome. And then we're going to click on add column and then choose add enrichment. And I'm going to type in here, find email. Now notice that there's a few options in here. And I happen to already know that this first one that says work email by Clay, you see how it says waterfall right here? That's showing you that what a waterfall is it's going to try one provider, then another provider, then another provider, and another provider. And all of these are individual providers. See that? Find email, lead magic, and so on. So we're going to just choose this one. And then I'm going to click on full configuration. And you could see here are all the providers. You can add more if you've got more. And notice the inputs it requires. It wants a full name and it wants a company domain, a company name, a social profile URL, and a company social profile. And if you have a personal email, it wants that. So now that I know which columns are required, I need to go ahead and create those columns in here so that I can pass this the necessary information in order for it to find it. So I have the LinkedIn URL column created, but I don't have all of these. So I'm going to use a quick shortcut and screenshot that. And then we're going to build those out. So we're going to go with full name. Company domain, company name, social profile URL. We already have that one through LinkedIn. Company social, company LinkedIn URL, and personal email if known. Let's see if we have it. Awesome. So we now have the required columns in order to add that waterfall enrichment. So let's go back and click add column a second time, and we're going to do add enrichment. We're going to say email, and then here's the work email. Don't miss that this is personal, this one's work. So we choose work email and we scroll down to inputs and notice that Clay has already mapped these out for me. Awesome. So go ahead and choose the relevant field for each one and then click save. It doesn't matter if you choose run or not because there really is no information in here to find. So I'm going to choose save and don't run. And now that we've added that, I want to show you what that enrichment waterfall for work email looks like. So you see these two little chevrons right here. You click those guys and that will show you all of the providers that it'll search. And it's going to search these in order one at a time until it finds the work email. And then this one right here, see how it has that merge icon? That means that Whenever it finds it from one, it stops searching the other ones, of course, and then it will merge any answer to this one field so that you have your definitive output field for your work email. So let's collapse that for now. So now the bigger question this has introduced is, how do I find full name, company domain, company name, and all of this information from just a LinkedIn URL? Now you have two paths here. You can find a way to just export all of this stuff right in here. And if that's something that you're like, I have no idea how I would get all this information, all I have are LinkedIn URLs, then what we need to do is find information on that LinkedIn URL first as a pre-requirement. So we're gonna go back all the way to the beginning to our LinkedIn URL column, and we're gonna choose insert one column to the right, add enrichment, and then if I'm gonna scroll down just a touch because it's right here. You see where it says Enrich Person? We're going to click this bad boy and notice that it once more gives you its required columns. See that? So then we do have the LinkedIn URL column and we don't have the email. We won't have it. We can put it here, but it'll be empty because we need this column to find the work email. I'll just go ahead and click to continue to add fields. And notice what's going to happen here. How this works, let me zoom out a touch so you can see more, is you can turn on and off the individual columns and fields that you want this to find. And it's basically going to LinkedIn to find this information from this person. So in this case, remember we want the full name, first and last name. Well, here's name. So I do want that. Since we don't need their title, I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. Boom. And now there's a few sections that have experience and they all kind of behave a little bit different. I like to skip past this first experience one, which I believe just gives them to you in the order that they're encountered, and then go all the way down to current experience. And the difference between experience and current experience is that this one has to be active. So now it's asking you the first active experience that they for sure have. And that's why I'm going to ask it to return. The first item is going to be the top thing that's active. So that's why I go to current experience. And then from there, I'm going to just click show more so you can see everything you can get from here. We're going to start with getting the company LinkedIn URL. See that right there? I'm going to turn that guy on. I'm going to scroll down and the company name is right there under company. Beautiful. And then the company domain. Let's scroll down. Here's the company domain. Got it. We're going to go ahead and click save and don't run. Now, what I expect will happen is it's going to create those columns a second time. That's absolutely fine. We'll clean it up in a second. You see it says creating columns. Sweet. So now we have the information that is required because this enrich person step got us all of the pre-requirements on the person, like what's their name, where do they work. I can't just start finding emails willy-nilly. So I'm going to test by simply finding a random URL. Thank you to the first person I see on LinkedIn, because I'm just going to grab your profile. How about this person here, Ermis? Hello, Ermis. Thank you for donating your profile. And we're going to drop Ermis right in here. And notice that this was set to auto run. So it automatically got their LinkedIn URL and it went right to work. Just be aware that when auto run is on, that's how Clay works. Got it. So now we have this basic information that you can see here on Ermis. And there's more in here that you can access at a later time if you wanted to get it out and then create a column with it. But you can just leave that hidden in here because we have all of the columns that we require right here. And now if you remember, we had created some other ones as kind of like a placeholder. I'm just going to remove those, just do a little bit of cleanup because I don't need it. Just hit delete. And I'm going to repeat that process for all of these other ones. Nice. So here we are. We have a way to add a LinkedIn URL and get these basic details on this person. And now I'm going to go back to my work email enrichment. We're going to edit this and we're going to scroll down and remap these values where you have full name, company, domain, and so on. And I decided to skip out on the personal email. And we're going to start with full name, which is going to be this one right here, and shows you the preview of what it has. So that's that one. Company domain. Does that look correct to me? Yes, it does. Company name. Boom, that looks right to me. Social profile URL is this LinkedIn. Notice that social is the person, and then company social profile, there's the company. And then personal email, I'm just going to skip out on. Notice that I can click save, so that one's not required. The reason I did save and don't run just now is because I wanted to configure the top part of this enrichment waterfall now that I have that data in here. And notice that if you go to edit and then full configuration from quick setup, the quick setup is fine, but I'm going to show you why I like to configure this. I like to put these in the order of what you are optimizing for. Now, you want to optimize for one of two things usually: quality or cost. So if you want quality and you have information that says, hey, the Tagma is my number one provider, then you want to put that at the top. Otherwise, what you want to do is, if you don't know that and you just want them as cheap as possible, what you want to do is organize these by their cost. And that looks something like this. You can see that I've organized these point 0.2, point 0.2, point 0.3, point 0.4, and so on. And you will see how this all works in just a second when I hit save and don't run. Great. So I'm going to expand these so that you can watch it go to work. And all I'm going to do is click play here to the column so that it starts the enrichment waterfall like that. And it's going to go to work and it's going to try these in the order that I specified. Notice the first one, no email found, find work email, and so on. And it's going to continue until it finds this person. And here it found it. I love that this one wasn't found by the first attempt because it shows you the value of a waterfall and whether it can validate it. And in this case, it found the email, but it also found that it was invalid. And we're going to try again on some other ones. What would be reasons for finding an email and it being invalid? Well, it could have been the correct email, but that person might have just changed jobs, for instance, and they might be somewhere else. And in that case, you will correctly get that there is not a working email for them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just click add to more rows here. And I'm going to import a CSV that has multiple LinkedIn URLs in it. And you can do that by clicking tools at the top here and then just click import and then go down to import from CSV. There's all sorts of ways to get data into Clay. This is just one of the more basic, simple ways. So I found a file and I have dragged it in, and I'm going to just leave add to current table, and first row contains column names because those are correct defaults for me. And I'm going to scroll down and notice that the LinkedIn URL from this one export is already mapped. That's all we need. Even if I have more information, don't worry about it because it's not required. And then we're going to add it in and do save and run rows in this CSV. Here you could see all of the people that got added. And if I scroll over to the right, you can see it going to work and finding some of those emails. Let me move that over to make those folks a little anonymous. There we go. But you can see that it's coming in. And if it's waiting for something, it's still finding some earlier information. That little clock is letting you know, hey, I need more information, or I don't have it yet. And then up here, you could see it going to work 73%, 74% with an error rate of which ones failed. And you can explore why some failed. There is no 100% when you're dealing with hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of leads. So that's an absolutely acceptable failure rate on this case. Awesome. And the last few stragglers are coming in 98, 99%. And you can see that it's starting to wrap up. And it did a pretty decent job finding emails. And remember that it's only going to give them to me if they made it not just through the waterfall, but also through the validation. So it may have found more emails than what are shown, but it also saved you from not giving you the junky ones that were just going to bounce and then hurt your email deliverability. And now the next step is to repeat this process. Let's say we want phone numbers. It's a very similar process. And I'm just going to click add column and then add enrichment. Now, a little side note for you. I always like to go email and then phone number because of the pre-required information, like needing the email to find the phone number, but also because of their cost. Notice that when I scroll down here and I look for a mobile phone number, the amount that it costs per row is going to be a little bit higher in terms of credit. So it's a more expensive ask. And you can also use some cool logic like only look for the phone number if I have the email. And you can create these little gates to prevent it from trying to find a phone number and giving you incomplete data if that's correct at your business. But for right now, we're going to create a simple one. We're just going to click mobile phone number right here. And just like before, we're going to scroll down and look for the inputs and notice that Clay has already mapped these. Now, as a best practice, you always want to double check it. So I like to just hover over it just like that. And it's going to show you some examples of LinkedIn URLs. But these all look great. And since I have the work email, which was required here, then I can just go ahead and tab over to the full configuration and scroll down. And it's the exact same thing as with emails. You want to configure these for what you're looking to optimize. Is it cost or quality? I said that earlier for emails, so it's the exact same principle. And what you want to do next is click save. And I'm going to choose don't run. The only reason I'm going to not run this is because I want to illustrate the point and not burn a bunch of credits on phone numbers I don't need. Had I choose save and run, it would just hit all of them. And then what I'm going to do is come down to, let's say, items 2 through 10 randomly and scroll over to the right to show you that the mobile phone is blank. And when I expand that waterfall, it does the exact same thing. Looks for it, validates it, looks for it, validates it. Now that we have these 9 or so rows selected like this, we are going to run them to show you how this works. I'm going to click actions, run 9 rows to test this out. And there it goes. Already got a couple valid numbers, and then some of them are going on to the next steps. So same as before, I'm going to collapse this, and it's going to, if it's found, put it right here. So I'll blur these phone numbers so we don't dox these nice people, but this is how it works. And it did an awesome job finding validated phone numbers. So the last thing that you're going to want to do here depends on your build specifically. Do you want to add these people to your CRM? That's simply a matter of adding an enrichment and then sending this to HubSpot or Pipedrive or whatever you use. You can use a make webhook. You can use so many different things to work with data to bring it in and take it out. The last thing that I would do here on this table is collapse everything I don't need to see so that it just goes to work. Let me show you how that works. Highlight those columns and hide them. And now you have such a simple view where you could come in, drop a LinkedIn URL by hand or in bulk, and just see those beautiful emails and phone numbers if that's all of the information that you need to see. So there you have it. That's how you could get one column to come in and 2 enriched columns to go out. A LinkedIn URL is all you need, and then you get these verified emails and phone numbers, and nobody had to spend their entire morning looking for these. In fact, we probably built this in the time that it would have taken to find maybe even half of these phone numbers. Now, a note on credits. If you have them just sitting there unused in Clay, then this could be the right move. I didn't really optimize for credit use here. There are some cheaper ways to do enrichment, either through individual service providers or aggregators, as well as by bringing those accounts into Clay. For instance, you can log into Clay with your enrichment accounts to use those credits. But the only decision you need to make is where do you want the credits to come from? It's absolutely fine to start, especially if you're low volume and just getting started with the Clay credits. But I want to be transparent. Since they're buying and reselling their own credits, they tend to like have a little bit of buffer to protect themselves. So you might pay just a fraction of a cent more per each enrichment. It's not a big problem until you're really optimizing for cost. So start by just making the machine and later optimize for cost is my recommendation. And as I said before, the outcome or the output of this depends on what you want. If you want to send it to your CRM, you could do that. If you want to send it to another system, if you want to send it to something that does outbound and contacts people and even personalize it, this is just the beginning to show you how easy and how powerful and how much you can build in just a few minutes. Please hit subscribe and check out my next video if you got any value at all from this. And thank you for watching.